hello, women in the pet industry and beyond, because I've shared this with a lot of people. And I'm excited to have this opportunity to go live with you all today on this Monday to share with you someone who I think is super cool, and I think you will as well, to share her journey as she works through being a woman in the pet industry, specifically a dog trainer. And I think you guys will enjoy this conversation. The goal is to inspire you and to see what's possible, because when I was starting out, I didn't even know that you could make a living being a dog trainer. I mean, seriously. So ask questions throughout. I'm going to introduce to you Lauren. She is from Creative Canine Solutions. She is the owner and she has a team now. So that's pretty awesome. So it's not just her helping people with dogs, and her specialty is helping people who have reactive dogs. So let me bring her on so you guys can meet her as well. All right. Hey, Lauren, thanks so much for joining today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
It's a wee bit early there on your coast in Oregon. So, you know, if anybody notices anything, that's why.
Yeah, if I look
Right. If she's sipping her coffee a lot, then you'll know. So, Lauren, can you tell us a little bit about your business and those that you serve before we jump into the hard questions?
Yeah, so I live in the third largest town in Oregon, which is 150,000 people, which tells you how big Oregon is. So it's a college town. So I get kind of a mix of families who have kids who moved here for the education system, a couple college kids, a lot of young professionals who have stayed here after college. So it's a bit of a mix, but our town has a ton of rescues and shelters. So rescuing and adopting is really popular here, which means we get a lot of dogs with behavior issues. And that's my primary focus, is reactive dog owners, whether it's towards other dogs or people or whatever the case may be. I do have a team member now, so we also do puppies because of her.
And we'll get into some of those new things that you're now offering. But this is interactive. So if you guys have questions, I will also prompt Lauren for those questions. So she only has to focus on one thing right now. And if you guys want to go ahead and check her out, I'm putting her website up here. But later on, I will also update the post with her social. She's really good on Instagram and Facebook. So check her out. She's got some really good stories going on there. All right. So this is super exciting because a lot has changed for you. And I want to start like thinking back a little close to 3 months ago, and thinking about like, what were you struggling with, or what were your concerns? You know, she's wrapping up her 90-day coaching program with me, and it's good to look back and see where she was. So do you want to share with our audience where you were?
Yeah, so I started my business in January of this year, right before the pandemic started.
Great.
So yeah, so I crushed it. So 3 months ago, I was like 9 months in, was working full time at the local shelter and also running my business 2 days a week. Had arrangements to like start group classes sometime between November and January, and was just kind of trying to figure out what I was doing with my life, also feeling really tired all the time, super burnout. Shelter work is hard. It's emotionally exhausting. And I was just, it was a lot. I was working like 60, 70-hour weeks, in addition to having a husband whom I love and want to try and spend time with, and my own dog, who, if you see me making weird gestures, I'm tossing her treats for not barking while I'm on this.
This is real life, people.
This is real life. So yeah, it was a lot. And I remember when I talked to you on our discovery call, you were kind of like, well, what are you thinking for your goals? And I was like, I don't know, maybe in like 6 months to a year, I'd like to go full time for myself and just kind of figure it out. And I am now 3 weeks into being full time for myself, less than 3 months later.
Yep, exactly. And you got to be careful, right? You know, it's like, once you put those intentions out there and you move forward and you let go of any kind of blocks, it happens real fast, Lauren, doesn't it?
It was crazy. It was interesting because the shelter work was already hard. And then I think 2 weeks after we talked and I decided to come onto the coaching program, my shelter job got harder. inexplicably for like stupid reasons. Not for anything that changed in the job description. I just started coming into roadblocks and bumping into things. So I was like, this is getting harder and less fun. And the universe was like, okay, bye, time to go.
Right. And sometimes we need, I know I do. Sometimes we need those pushes to get where we actually want to go, because we ourselves may not make those steps ourselves, right?
Yep. Nope.
Yep.
I'm a giant chicken when it comes to stuff like that. I am very nervous about like being able to pay my bills and things. But I hit a breaking point and I messaged you on Facebook and I was like, how soon do you think I can go full time?
Yeah. And the answer is as soon as you want.
I gave my notice like 4 days later.
Yep. And, you know, everything serves a purpose. Like, we are where we're meant to be. But when we see those things that aren't working, we've got to change them, right? As fast as we can, because you'll be suffering otherwise. And we're trying not to suffer doing something else.
Definitely.
So thinking about, thank you for sharing kind of where you were in that struggle of, I want to move forward, but maybe, in 6 months or more. And I'm not totally happy with, working. We were talking before we started. What time did you have to be at the shelter?
Oh my God, I had to be there at 7 a.m. and I worked until 6:00 at night, 4 days a week. And so then I took clients 2 other days of the week. I had 1 day off a week with my husband. And I'm still tired thinking about that.
Still recovering.
I'm still recovering now. It's only been 3 weeks. It's going to take a while.
Got to detox a little bit for that schedule, right? So how do you feel now after we've worked together? And really, I want to emphasize to everybody is the work that we do in coaching is really about getting you where you want to go. And really, Lauren has done all the work. I just get to be the guide. I just get to help her get where she wants to go and push her a little bit outside of her comfort zone when appropriate. But, how do you feel now after you've been through this initial 3 months? And what are some of the results that you have seen and experienced so far?
Yeah. So on an emotional level, I feel awesome. The last 3 weeks of my life have been the happiest in a long time. I had brunch on Zoom with some girlfriends yesterday. And despite the fact that I literally woke up 10 minutes before because I overslept, because I'm still recovering, they were like, you just look so good and you're so light and you're so happy. And I was like, I'm in my pajamas with my hoodie on. But if you say so, because I just feel so much better. This is what I was meant to be doing and it feels really good. So that's been really exciting. As far as like big changes, I raised my prices significantly once we talked, which was really scary. But it is now December 28th, and I've already made enough money to pay my bills in February, and it's not even January yet, which feels so good.
Yeah.
And I got to do it on my own time, doing what I love, working with clients I care about is awesome. It's so good.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a big change.
And without necessarily, you can share numbers if you want. I don't care. But thinking about like what you were making like in November, what multiplier would you put on what you've made this month?
3 times at least. It's almost 4 times at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It is a little crazy. And this is not gouging people. I know raising prices for you was scary to begin with, but it's doing it with integrity. It's doing it. It's your worth. You've got, credentials. You have gone through training. You've gone through testing and you're good at what you do. You deserve it. Right. But sometimes, especially women, we don't believe that. And that's typically the very first thing I do like to work with people is to give them a raise. Right?
Yeah, I would have had to work so much harder to be able to make things come together at the prices I originally had. And I think the most interesting part for me was I raised my prices. It was a little scary, but it wasn't above what other trainers at my level are offering in the area. And once I raised my prices, one of my competitors raised theirs, which I thought was interesting. The other cool thing is once I raised my prices, I suddenly had way more inquiries coming in, which was really interesting. I booked more clients with my higher prices than I did at my lower prices.
Yeah. It's a shift. it's not just the prices, it's definitely a shift that happened in you and
Mm-hmm.
that enabled this all to happen.
And it's so good. The other thing I like is that with my prices being where they are is now I don't have to worry about paying my bills, which gives me more energy and time to focus on my clients. But it also gives me the chance for clients who I know are struggling financially, who really need the help. It gives me a little more wiggle room because I'm not struggling financially. So when I bump into those people where it's like they really need a little extra something and I feel good about it, they're committed, I can make that choice if I want to, which is really nice.
Right. Yes, it's your business. You can do it your way. And I also think it's pretty amazing when we started working together, you were a solopreneur. Tell us a little bit about that piece of being open to bringing someone else on board and how that your price shift also has helped that.
Yeah. So I originally, when I left the old training company I worked for to go work at the shelter, I had a coworker who left not long after me, who I really like. She's my work wife. And we had often talked about someday going out on our own, doing a thing together. And then when I left, she was going to move to Nevada. Sorry to anyone from Nevada. It's just really weird from Oregon to go to a desert. That's just not what we do.
You want to change? That's a big change.
Right, apparently. So she was going to move to Nevada. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go out on my own. It's a little scary, but I'll figure it out. And then once I decided I was like working towards going for full-time for myself, I realized with talking to Paula that if I really wanted to hit the financial goals I wanted, that I was potentially going to need someone else. I also was out having drinks with a friend outdoors, socially distanced. And she bought me 3-ciders, and 3-cider Lauren makes decisions really quickly. And she was like, you know what you should do is you should text Kiana and see if she's still in Oregon. And I was like, why don't I? So I drunk texted Kiana and she was still in Oregon. And I was like, you should come work with me. And she was like, yeah, I should. So because I raised my prices, she would be working on her own, running her own business. Because I raised my prices, she was like, oh, I can make more money working for you. And I don't have to get my own insurance and stuff. I was like, and I'm fun. So she's now on my team and she starts next week.
So cool.
It's
and what
so
are
cool.
some other things that you've added recently that I think you were on the horizon anyways because of your relationships? Lauren's really good about networking and, meeting with people that really are her vibe and her tribe. So what's starting in a couple weeks?
So we have group classes starting in a couple weeks, which is really exciting. I'm extra excited now because puppies are not my jam. It's not something that I can do it. I'm not passionate about it. And I think that it's just harder for me. Kiana is all about puppies. That is totally 100% what she does. And so she is teaching the puppy classes. She wrote the puppy curriculum. I didn't have to touch it. I didn't have to do anything with it. She took that all on her own, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm super excited. And I can focus on basic manners, which is something I feel more passionate about. And then working towards late next quarter, introducing a reactive dog class, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah. And this is, part of the process in my 90-day program is working to find your zone of genius. And Lauren, your zone of genius is not puppies. We identified that very early on. It was not your thing, but you wanted to serve that audience. And how great that Kiana can do it. She loves it. It's her zone of genius. And so we can enable others by building a team or even referring, right? If she had said no, you'd been like, come with me. We can do it together, right?
Totally. And I was trying to take all of it on when I was working alone because I thought that was what I had to do. Is like, I just need to get whatever business I can, however I can get it. And then working with you made me realize that I was just stretching myself thin and not really, I wasn't enjoying that aspect as much. And I love my puppy client parents. Like, they're really fun people. It's just not an area that I feel driven in. And so now having the chance to focus more of my energy on my behavior clients and giving Kiana those puppy people has really brought out more enthusiasm and creativity in me with that energy that I was otherwise using to dread puppy stuff.
Because, you're the business owner and a trainer. So you have to balance both of those hats and a wife and a dog mom, right? So we got to balance it all out.
Yeah. It's much better this way. Working in my zone of genius has been a real game changer.
Yeah. And so many people don't know what that is. And what it is, folks, is it's knowing what you enjoy doing, okay, and you're good at. That's it. Super simple. But so many times we, work in other zones that are not, we think, oh, we have to teach puppy. We have to be good at this because we're X. And it's like, no, there's other people out there that would really love that. So delegate, hire them, whatever it takes so that you don't have to do it.
Yes.
And it gives you a lot more energy for sure.
Yes. Yeah. We've done really cool reactive dog stuff from working with you. Is one of the things that we had talked about was how do we help reactive dog parents out, because it's really isolating. And especially during the time of COVID when we're isolated anyway, knowing you can't even get together in a backyard with friends because your dog won't be able to handle it is a lot. And so with your guidance, I made a reactive dog training Facebook group for my clients to just talk to each other. And it's only a week and a half old, and they're already each posting their own stuff. They're commenting on things. One of my current clients that I is on the group, I worked with her the other day, and she was like, oh, I watched the video you posted and it got me thinking about these things. And it was really awesome. It was like they're connecting with each other. They're learning more. They're doing better because we have this group together. And that's something I wouldn't have had the time or energy for if I'd been spreading myself out constantly. So it's really exciting.
It is. And it's just enabling you to help more people and more dogs by giving yourself this freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Think
and just being open to it.
Yeah, just being open to it, having the time and the energy and like the zest for it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. What specifically did you find most helpful, if you can only pick one thing, working together? Oh, it's hard.
That's really hard. All of it is one thing, technically. I think the thing that I have personally found most helpful is feeling like I'm not alone anymore. It was really scary to make my own decisions and try to figure out what I was doing. And I think it was pretty apparent to me that I didn't really know how to run a business, that I was just trying to do it the best I knew how. I'm good at dog training. I got that part down. But I have an English degree and no business skills whatsoever. So having you on my team has really helped me de-stress a lot, and being able to ask you questions and run things by you and be like, I'm feeling really stuck here. I don't know what to do in this situation. So having you on my team has been probably the most important thing to me, is just knowing that I'm not alone. You have a mentor and a guide who can help me, which is why I bought the year program after this. And I think you're probably stuck with me for the next 30 years.
Awesome. I love it. You're doing such amazing things. And, thinking about this, could you have done it on your own?
I think I probably would have muddled through, and maybe in, 5 to 10 years have figured out maybe 75% of this. I think I probably would have kept working at the shelter for at least another year, at least. At which point I probably would have died inside a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that I would still have my lower prices, so I wouldn't be getting the clients I'm getting now. So I think the answer is, at a 0% level, yes. Like I could muddle through running my own business on my own. Would I see any of the success that I have now? I don't think so. Would I be where I am now with this like new happy attitude, feeling good about things, already a month ahead on my bills, which is a huge weight off because I have a lot of anxiety around money? Nope. I think I would have been at the shelter right now wishing that I was here instead.
Yeah. No, and it's true. You're absolutely right. You can do it on your own, but you don't have to.
Yeah. It's so much better not. So much better not.
Yeah.
I am infinitely happier and just feel very supported. And like I said, I have anxiety. I find it very stressful to go it alone, and just having you on my team and knowing that I've got the guidance, I've got the help is well worth every penny and beyond.
Thank you for that compliment. And you have taken the tools like this, when we think about like our dream clients, like our dog training clients, like they listen to everything you say, they have good questions, like that's you in the coaching world, right? Like, because the thing is like, it's like any program, anything you do, if you don't apply it, what's the point? Right. Yeah. And 30 days can feel like a long time, but honestly, it feels very short. I'm like, didn't we just start yesterday? Like,
I can't believe it's almost over. And I think I get whiplash looking back at where I was when we started in late September.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? October?
Well, it would have been October.
Yeah, because we're up in
We
January.
met through the aggression conference.
Yeah.
We didn't know each other before.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, the best part about that is, and I feel like this is the universe and it's weird magic, right? I wanted to go to the aggression conference and couldn't afford it. And my shelter mentor, Trish McMillan, gave me a free pass to get in. And that's the only reason that I was able to be there.
Wow.
The universe was like,
in a gift. Wow.
Yep. Awesome.
That's amazing. Well, thanks, Trish.
Yeah. That woman is awesome.
Yeah, that was a great conference too.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so good.
So
now I want more.
Aside from the business side, how has this impacted your life?
In a lot of ways, I will say we'll start small to big. I was talking to my mom the other day, and waking up at 5:45 in the morning 4 days a week meant that I was too tired to get up the other days of the week, and then to get home in the dark because in Oregon this time of year sun sets at like 4 and rises at like 8. So there's no good time to get out. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't really doing anything. I just came home, slept, woke up, came home, slept, woke up. And I went for a run today. I've run more in the last 2 weeks, and it's like run walk, but I'm still doing it.
More than you were doing.
Yep, more than I have like in a year, which felt really good. Been sleeping better, and I have more time to do the things I care about, like hang out with my dog. But most importantly, and this was the primary reason that I realized it was time to quit the shelters, I don't think I realized how stressed I was. And my husband sat me down one day and was like, I love you. Your current stress levels and how busy you are is really hard on me. And he was really upfront about how it was not kind of what he pictured our life being together. I wasn't really present for him. I wasn't really present for myself. And he just expressed, he was like, this isn't going to be sustainable long term. I love you so much. How do we figure it out so that you're okay? And that was, I messaged Paula like half an hour later, and I was like, can I go full time? I need to quit. And yeah, I talked to Mark's my husband. I talked to him the other day. I was like, can you give Paula a quote about how much better things are now? And he was like, oh yeah, no, definitely. Because things are so much better. We have 2 days off a week together for the first time. We've been together 7 years. For the first time in 7 years, we have 2 days off together. We have been relaxed and happy and having fun. Things are just so much better all over because of this. It's amazing. And that for me is the biggest thing, is that Mark's happier now and that we're happier together now. And it's only been a couple weeks. I can't wait to see where we're at in like a month, a year.
Yeah. And
I told him my goal is to be a sugar mama.
We can do that. But it's like, thank you, may I have another? Thank you, may I have another, right? And looking at it as there's so much more. There's more. Mm-hmm. Right? There's so much more out there. And I know when we started working together, and I'm so glad that has what you have seen as like your number one, your big one for life. Because while I say I'm a business coach, I'm holistic. We got to look at the whole person, because if Lauren ain't happy, then Mark ain't happy. And if Mark ain't happy, the business ain't happy. Right. And then the dog's not happy and the cat's not happy. It's
100%
picture. And that was a big thing I know in our discovery call, is I want more time with my husband. Like he has to be a priority. And I literally like started like, this is the thing. Yes, we can do the business stuff. Yes, we can do all that stuff, but we've got to adjust this piece. And that's something that people may not realize in this process, is that, you have to be okay looking at your life too along the way, not just business focused.
It was hugely helpful to know that you were on board for all of it, and that I could message you and be like, okay, not business related. We're having a relationship issue, because it's all tied in. It is. And it's all tied to me and my energy and where I'm putting myself. And it's made a huge difference. And I've made enough money that I'm taking Mark on a vacation in February.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
We have to keep upping her goals, folks. Like her goals, they feel big. And then she's like, oh, I did that already. I was like, what? It's only been like a couple of days.
It's great. We set my income goal this month at a little bit more than where I'd been at. And I think we met it first week of December.
Like, I think it was within 4 days.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was December 4th. I think you had messaged me and you were like, I said, well, we had to set a different goal. What's a different goal? Like, we're done with that one. Done.
I know,
it's
exciting. It doesn't feel like I'm even putting that much work into it. It's all just coming together too, which is amazing. I mean, I know I'm working, but it doesn't feel like I'm working.
Yes. And that's how it should feel. It should not be with this uncomfortableness. I mean, there's a little bit of discomfort to stretch yourself and to grow, but it shouldn't be painful. It shouldn't be this verge of burnout. And that's where so many people in our industry are, is they think they have to struggle and they have to scrimp and they have to not get paid and, you know, all of these things. And it's like, no, you can actually have time off. You can actually like enjoy your life and still pay your bills.
Yeah, that's been the most interesting part in the coaching program, is I feel like a lot of the other ladies are still at the point where it's like, okay, but that feels wrong to charge that much money. And having worked for a nonprofit for so long and then worked for another trainer where I didn't make as much money as I was bringing in, it was like, okay, I'm done scrimping. I've been doing this for way too long. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. And we're already making it happen. I'm a month ahead on my bills right now. That feels so good, especially for someone with anxiety. I was like, woo!
Yes, and we all have some level of anxiety. It's like, how do we dial that down, right? How do we put those safety nets in place so that we don't have as much of the anxiety? Because then that's going to make us feel like there isn't enough. And everyone's on their own journey. Like, there are certain things that, like, this is why we're doing this interview, people, is like, if you would like, you can have a Lauren experience, right? Like, everyone's gonna have their own journey. You don't have to be her. You don't have to leave your full-time job. You know?
Talking treats at my dog and whack my coffee cup. It's early, people.
It's early. Coordination's still checking in here, right? So thinking about that, Lauren, like, you're on your own journey. You've made these shifts. It's not for everybody. How did you know the time was now, or in October? How did you know this is the time? I've got to make this decision.
I went into it as I do with a lot of things, kicking and screaming. We met, we were chatting, and you were like, I'm doing this mind mapping thing. And I was like, well, I can't come because I'm at the shelter, because that's where I always am. And you were like, well, I'll just do one with you, like, no charge. We'll do it alone together. And I was like, I don't really want to waste your time. I don't really have the money to buy a coach. But you were so nice about it. I was like, well, it's free. It's only 45 minutes. Sure. Let's try it.
Famous words if you know me.
Dude, for real. And so, I went into it. I was like, okay, I'll just, we got my notebook. We'll just see what happens. And within 5 minutes, I was like, I really like this lady. And by the end of the call, I was like, okay, so what's next? I felt like I clicked, and I knew that financially it was a little risky, but talking to you, I was like, this is going to be worth it. And like, the worst thing that happens is it doesn't work. And I spent some money to try something new, but going on my own hasn't been successful. So what the hey, which is my famous last word. I thought in January, what the hey, I'll just start my own business. What the hey, I'll hire a business coach. And here we are, less than 3 months later, and I am doing all the things that I want to do. I can pay my bills for the first time in a long time. I'm not like carefully budgeting every last penny. Like, I paid myself a little extra this month so I could buy something nice. I'm taking my husband on vacation. I called my mom and I was like, book your birthday weekend, lady. I'm taking you to the beach. Yeah, she was like, I don't think I feel comfortable with you paying for things. And I was like, too bad. You got 11 months to get used to it, lady. Let me spoil you. It just feels so good to know that I can finally, out of my life, I have had people where I've been the lowest income bracket in my family and my friends, and no one cares. Everyone's great about it, but my best friend pays for me to come visit her in San Diego, and she takes me out. My mom always takes me out to do things. It's nice to feel like, in a couple months, I'm going to be the person who's taking people out for things. I'm going to get to return that love and give people gifts the way that I want to be able to do.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
And not struggle to do it.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's so nice to know my brother gifted us a PlayStation for Christmas, which was really exciting. And my husband's favorite game when he was a kid was a game that is now, there's a new version available on the PlayStation. And I had the extra money to be like, I'm just going to buy it for him. That was so cool. That never happened to me before.
That's great.
I was like, I'm literally just going to buy it for you like right now. I'm not going to have to budget for it next month. This is so cool.
Yeah. And then you're not like, oh, I'm not going to have money for this. It's like, nope.
We're just going to put that on the credit card.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. I'll pay that off next month, which wouldn't be a bad thing, right? If you knew you were going to have the money, right?
Right. That's the cool part. I put our new vacation coming up on my Alaska card because I was like, I'll get the miles for it and I could pay it off next month.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, money has been an issue my whole life and it's just so nice. And I know that's not a driving factor for everyone. And there's the anti-capitalist in me is like, all right, lady, rein it in. But it's so nice not to have to struggle. It's so nice.
Right. And I think, actually, I know that is why so many of us do not charge what we should be charging. And why we struggle financially is because of our own money issues. And we have to shift that thinking. And this is one of the reasons, because I have the same issue you have with money. And I've, worked on it. It's a much smaller issue, but it comes up from time to time. Is we've got to talk about this in our industry. This is why I started getting into coaching, as I didn't want people to struggle. I wanted to take the knowledge that I have and say, how can I help you so you don't have to go through the same things and provide those resources? Because the more money we make, the more we can help people and other animals. Now Lauren can make her family life better, right? She can gift things. She said already, if there's someone who comes along and she's like, oh my gosh, I want to give this person a scholarship. Like they can't afford me right now. I want to give them something. She's created it in her budget so she can do things like that. Like you can do it however you want. But if Lauren isn't okay, then nothing's okay. Then she's not going to be able to do it very long or very well. And now she can serve people even better. Again, we're not gouging people. I think that's what people think of when they think of money. Gouging them. I don't deserve this. And it's like, sure, if she was charging like $1,000 an hour and she had not had like a lot of credit. I mean, I don't even care if she does now, right? But like, it better be a really good service, right? It better be like, she better be this really awesome person who can get results. And it's just a mindset shift. And it's a shift that you may always have to just tinker with. I know I do. But we just keep dealing with it over and over and over again. And how nice that you can be generous to others.
Yeah, it feels really good. And there are some days where I wake up and I'm like, I am worth every penny. I am so good at this. And then other days where I'm like, oh God, that's a lot of money to charge somebody for what I can do. And I just message you and I'm like, are you sure this is a good idea? Yeah. And we get through it. Yep. It's awesome. I look at the affirmation cards you sent me and I'm like, you know what? I'm full of abundance, man. I got this. It's fine.
Yep. And it's just a mindset thing. It's just a mindset thing. Well, I want to wrap it up to talk a little bit about how Lauren got started. I did not know her before, which I feel like I've known her for years now. It's such a blessing to me to get to meet someone in the pet industry as awesome as she is. But the very first step is to book a discovery call. And a discovery call, as she said, she had a little different version. I mean, I'm happy to do mind mapping with people if they would like. She kind of got a combo. She got the mind mapping and the discovery call all wrapped in one. That's why it went longer. But the discovery call is to give you clarity, to say what's working and what's not. There is no commitment. Like Lauren could have been like, not for me, or not today. But if you're ready to step forward and get more clarity and potentially have support, then you definitely want to book time with me. I'm going to put a Calendly link in the description so you can just book at your own time, which is super easy. And I have 90-day programs and I have 12-month programs. And Lauren's moving into the 12-month program. Just going to keep growing the awesomeness with that. But your first step is just to book that call and see what you can accomplish in 90 days, maybe. Pretty crazy.
It is crazy worth it. I don't ever tell people to try things that I don't believe in. I got an offer on Instagram from a dog treat company to like do a free giveaway with them. And I was like, sorry, I don't know you. I got to try your dog treats first. And I cannot tell you guys enough. Book with Paula. It is worth it. My life is so different and it hasn't even been 3 months. I'm excited to see where we are December 2021.
Exactly. And we're already planning those goals. I have a goal meeting later this week for anyone who's not in the coaching program. I'm doing a free goals.
We had our goal meeting last week and I'm really pumped for my goals.
I know. And I have to tell you guys, they're going to be bigger than she put on her paper. So,
which is awesome because I feel like I put a slightly scary goal on there and I'm really excited.
Yes, you should be slightly scared.
I'm always on the edge of slight terror. It's totally normal for me.
Yes. Well, be sure I'll put all of Lauren's links. She has some really good content, and it's always a good idea to follow others in the industry, not to copy, but to model what good things that they're doing and what things to avoid if we're doing anything naughty. But so much, Lauren, for your time. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you guys have questions later on for myself or for Lauren, we'll both be checking this post. And I look forward to seeing where Lauren goes next for her future follow-up. Well, maybe we'll follow up in 6 months and see where you are in the summer, what trip she's been on, what gift she's given.
I was like, I'm just going to be wearing like gold jewelry, just bedazzled.
Right. I may be wearing things, but they won't be jewelry.
Doesn't suit my lifestyle.
Oh, thanks again, Lauren. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Paula.
You're welcome.